This is One-on-One with Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, and so much more. Actor, talent manager, producer, and more. Now he's sitting down with today's top newsmakers from entertainment, politics, pop culture, and beyond. This is One-on-One with Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Howdy, and welcome, everyone. Yes, indeed. Welcome to One-on-One with Jasper Cole. This is your host, Mr. Jasper Cole, and we are live at Sunset Gower Studios right here in the heart of Hollywood, California, coming to you for another great show. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I would love for you to go to our Facebook page, One-on-One with Jasper Cole, and Twitter is at @1on1jcole, and my website, jaspercole.com. And let me give a shout out to my producer extraordinaire, Mr. John Williams.
Hey, Jasper.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. I only get to see you on the show once a week.
I know.
Well, that's okay.
Gotta change that.
We need to. Well, it's because I'm never in town, and you're
Now
always
we're face to
working.
face. Normally
Yeah.
behind you.
Now, John. Yeah, John's usually. It's so funny. Usually he's behind me,
Yeah.
which I don't worry that he's gonna stab me in the back or anything. It is Hollywood. You have to be careful. Some people do it so fast you don't feel the blade go in. Welcome to show business. But anyway, speaking of show business, I want to give a shout out to everyone at WROM in Detroit, Detroit's #1 radio station. And we're so happy you're tuning in. And people all around the world that are listening, because as you know, we are on iTunes and Stitcher and Spreaker. I always want to say Spreaker.
Look who's walking in.
And tune in and anything. But what's most important is our very special guest has just sashayed in. Yes. This is the one and only Miss Denise Boutte. Say hi in the mic right here.
Hello, darling.
All right. And get your ass in the chair. Okay.
I love how we're so informal, but it's so great.
Well, she was almost on time.
It's family today. No, I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying we're informal with the.
What it was? I had those chicken nuggets, and they took longer for me to eat than I thought.
I thought you were going to say,
chicken nuggets from where?
And they didn't want to stay down.
Oh,
because it's not chicken.
I was actually no.
Oh, okay.
Chick-fil-A is real chicken.
I was going to say you're on CP time, but that was going to segue me.
She doesn't age.
Well,
she doesn't gain weight.
Did you hear about Bethany Frankel? She made that big faux pas. Have you heard about this?
No.
Well, she was doing some empowerment for women's, one of those bogus bullshit things somewhere. And she started talking about telling women what they should do. Well, first of all, she commented, "Oh, wait, I'm mixing up. No, that was Hillary Clinton." Hillary Clinton
and Bethany Frankel.
No, Hillary
How
Clinton.
do you mix up
Hillary
Clinton
Clinton used the CP Colored People time with a speech she was giving in New York.
Wasn't that supposed to be a joke?
It was a scripted thing that didn't work. No, Bethany Frankel, her thing was she told women they need to wear knee pads into business meetings. And basically, she identifies with black women because she's loud, like most black women. And there were and she said also something about always make sure you hire a white man to be the boss. Well, she's right about that. But anyway, I'm kidding. But so there were two women in there, black women. One was a writer for the Huffington Post. See, you never know who's in your audience.
Nope, sure don't.
And they put her on blast on Huffington Post. And then I don't know if she's come back and said anything yet or not. But anyway, everyone, let me just say, Denise Boutte is here today because she had nothing better to do.
I had nothing better to do.
She needed to kill an hour before
on Hump Day Wednesday.
Before a meeting later on. No, actually, Denise is one of the stars of the new TV movie Second Sight, airing this Saturday at 8 p.m. on TV1.
Yes.
And it stars Tatiana Ali, Texas Battle, Sharif Atkins, Edwina. What's her last name? Finley. And Jose Yinke.
And Jasper Cole.
I have what's called a cameo.
No, because I was at the screening, and honey, you are throughout, and you are a pivotal part of telling the story.
Thank you. I play a homeless guy who has has a secret of his own to help out, I guess, and give a little information.
Yep. And the best darn grill I've ever seen in life.
Oh my God! But can you really see it in the
teeth
up close?
Oh, have mercy! Can you see?
Because I watched a screener today on my iPhone, which you can't see anything. But the movie's really good, and a shout out to the writer and executive producer Susan Banks.
Susan Banks. Yes,
to Michael Scott, the
and
director, Kathy Hughes.
Third project they've executive produced together.
Yes,
so
and this is your second or third?
I keep wanting to say third, but this is number two.
Two.
This is number two.
For the Love of Ruth, Denise, that's one of the TV One's highest rated movies that debuted last Mother's Day.
Woo! And we got an NAACP award nomination thanks to
Christine
Swanson,
the
who
director.
got nominated as a director. Yes.
So this is technically but it seems like it's, because you had worked with Swirl Films on so many other
That's
films.
What it is,
and they did Ruth and
exactly.
But tell everyone about your character that you play in Second Sight.
She's the good girl in this thing, and
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, we're not giving
We're
not spoiling it. Let's just say she appears to be the good girl. She does, and
do we have to buy license to songs if I sing them?
No.
I got a country song for you.
Oh, please.
Looking for love in all the wrong places. Searching for love in too many faces. See, now I'm done.
I have no idea. Who, Willie Nelson?
Have you ever done a duet on air, Jasper?
No, but JW is a real singer.
J-Dub, how was that? That was hot, right?
Wait, who sings that? Willie Nelson? That's a good one.
I don't know, but that's what I will say is the ode to Tamra. She's looking for love in all the wrong places, and all she wants to be is loved. She doesn't know that the guy's dating.
Well, you play a fellow school teacher.
With who
Tatiana
basically falls
Ali.
in love with one of the children's parents. Mm-hmm.
Right. Are we giving all that away?
Well, you find that out very quickly.
Yeah, but there's so much. This is a really a suspenseful thriller.
It is,
and it has many twists and turns.
Very unexpected.
Just great performances by everybody.
Yay.
In fact, you had a screening right next door here to the studio.
We had a screening right next door.
Last
Susan
week.
set that up last week, and it was awesome. I mean, I like most actors. I don't like necessarily seeing the first go round.
Not if you haven't seen it before.
No, now if I can if I'm home and I can look at the television in my, robe and, with some popcorn and chill and a little glass of wine, that's fine. But to see with everybody
when
at
you
the
haven't
same
seen
time
it.
when you've never seen it before, that's always
because I was supposed to actually go with Denise, and
then
I couldn't go, but then deep down I was like,
oh,
you know what? That would have made me nervous because, well, one, you never know if you're cut out of things. So can you imagine if I'd been sitting there and just actually
waiting. That's funny.
I've never actually sat in a script. I've done TV shows though where years back before the SAG had to tell you were cut out, where you.
Seriously?
One time
you could show up and.
Oh no! One time I had like a party at my house for for what show was it? I can't remember now. And and it was just the side of my head. They left like one side of my head and no lines or anything.
Aww.
And all the family back east were like, but what I
womp.
love about family back, like they were still excited that it was my head.
You were still there.
Yeah.
We saw your head. Oh my God, that was brilliant! What an amazing performance.
Yeah. So anyway, but this one, like I said, I got to see a screener.
No, but your character, I mean, I knew that was the case. You are definitely an integral part of
and
the
everyone,
story,
thanks to Denise, that I actually got the part, because when initially Denise was cast, the script that she initially read, there was not a homeless man.
There wasn't a homeless
and
man.
then when she got the revised pages, they had added a homeless guy, and as a lot of you know, I play a lot of homeless guys. And so she recommended me to the director.
I got the guy for you.
Yeah, and it actually worked.
It did.
And what's ironic is, as a lot of you know, I'm one of the managers and owners of Newman Thomas Management.
Really?
So Denise and I have been together for 12 years. And it was so great that I was actually her. This is the first time we've ever
worked together
as actors, and we didn't have scenes together. But the fact we were actually on the set together,
at the same time.
and we didn't say anything to anyone at first.
I told Tatiana.
Yeah, you told her early on, but then later,
and then I told
the director.
Yeah. So it
well, I didn't want them to know ahead of time because they may have just felt bad in giving me the part.
I
wanted to feel like they at least saw my work and said he's creepy enough.
He's creepy.
But I have to thank you, because for me, it's one of the first times I've got to play a homeless guy that actually was sympathetic and not mean and killing people.
Yeah.
Because I don't.
No, you're not.
I'm always
you're not killing people. You're looking out for that poor little baby girl.
Yeah.
You have a heart.
And your character is It's your characters for your fans listening. It's kind of great because it's sort of a combination of what you're known for. You have a little bit of
Stealing
Trina.
people's husbands.
You have a little bit of Trina
Yes.
from Why Did I Get Married? But then you have a little bit of, Sasha from Meet the Browns, who's this wonderful
School teacher,
working woman.
Yes. Sasha was a nurse, the head of nursing, that is. And then this young lady here is a teacher and loves her students and loves Clara. Clara, played by Tatiana Ali. So her loyalty is really to her friend, and as far-fetched as it sounds that her friend is seeing, quote, visions and has premonitions, she's down for her girl. So even though she's side-eyeing her and she's like, I'm down for you, girl. Whatever you need. If you said it's blue and it's really black, well, I'm going to say it's blue. Okay?
Yeah, because a lot of people are not believing Tatiana's character.
No, and that's the struggle. And she's not even believing it. She's having a hard time understanding what this is because it's been since she was a kid that she actually had these visions, and now they're happening again.
It's very similar. It's not similar. But in theme, it's sort of like Haley Joel Osment in The Sixth Sense.
Very similar. Yeah. It does have I see why you would say
and there's
that,
a big shout out. We forgot to mention Marla Gibbs, who plays
Marla Nana.
Tatiana's grandmother.
Yes.
And they have a beautiful scene together when she goes back to Nana's house.
Right, when she's trying to understand what
and
this
Nana
is.
explains that this has been a family thing that has skipped.
Look at it as a blessing or a curse.
And she said her character kept saying "bless her heart," and I was thinking, is Susan Southern? Because "bless your heart" is such a Southern expression. I wonder if she's from the South.
I don't know.
Or I wonder if Marla threw that in because we all improvise a little bit.
I don't know. I wonder if that was a bit of Marla or if that was
I don't know, but I love
Susan.
that because being from the South,
Bless
because
her
you can
heart.
use "bless your heart" genuinely. Or you can say, God bless her heart. Look at that fat ass. Bless
all the
her
church
heart.
ladies, that's what they do.
Yeah. What I tell this story, my mother's passed on, God rest her soul, but I can remember many times sitting in the church in the back row,
Martha.
in the Baptist church, in the back row. You want to sit in the back because then you're the closest when the people first walk through the door. You're the first ones they pass. And I can remember her going, hey, Miss Joan, hey, sweetie, how y'all doing? How's everyone? How's your mom and them doing? We'll tell them all we said hi. All right. 1, 2, 3. She's the biggest whore in town. Bless her heart. Look at that fat ass. She's got those fat jeans. She's so ugly she could knock the buzzard off a meat truck.
Oh my gosh, you gotta love her.
God
This is
bless
in the
her.
church?
In the church.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, J-Dub, it happens.
Hypocrite.
In the South? Yeah, in the... it got nothing
You
else
find
to
out
do.
more about people's
In the
their
church.
dirt, more tea and shade right there in
Yeah.
church. Being a Southern girl. So everyone, remember you can follow and you can go on Facebook with Denise Boutte, and then Twitter is Denise _
Boutte because Denise Boutte was taken. I don't know where in the heck there's
Oh,
another Denise
well.
Boutte, but yeah. So do _ for Instagram and Twitter.
And then
Facebook is just Denise Boutte.
and you have your website.
And I have my website.
That's also
DeniseJBoutte.com.
Boutte. What is the J for?
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yes.
Right.
Which is my... Okay, you know what? Jasper.
That will never happen. Well, it will at some point, and that'll be the end.
Okay, you know what? I'm about to crucify him because this is an inside insult, not joke.
No, I have a
Insult.
nickname. I have a private nickname for Denise because when let's just say,
Baby got back.
well, that was my oh yeah. We talked about that at the wedding.
About that, what it is that? Well, here's what it was. I was gonna go with my maiden name,
what
which
it
is
is.
Joseph. Okay,
Oh,
which is now my middle name, Jasper.
Which is a great name.
So anyway, I was gonna go with Joseph, but then whenever he found out what my married last name was, he's like, "Oh no, absolutely
it's exotic.
not. Boutte is memorable." I was like, "It is memorable, but for all the wrong reasons." I was like, "Are you
No.
serious?" He was like, "No, you got." But it actually was a great move because yes, baby does have back, so I can
Yes,
represent.
and she can sing the song. Or
I
rap
can
the song.
sing the song, and I have done it before.
Yeah.
And do we
Okay?
know any other actress with the name Boutte?
Not that I'm aware of. There's the one and only, honey.
Did they call you Booty though? Just
Yeah.
because they can't
So,
pronounce it.
let me just say,
I get Boutte. I think
Okay.
people don't want to insult me and they're not sure. So actually, I did some phoners this morning and they were wondering. I was like, okay, the bougie way of saying booty. Boutte.
well, in the beginning when we first
and I followed
started,
with a hey, Boutte.
when we first started, casting directors would call the message line, or they'd call Newman Thomas Management, and they would say, "Hi, this is such and such, and I'm calling for Denise." But
Anxiety.
I don't know. I don't want to insult any. is it Boutte? Is it Boutte? They were like so, and then I'd call them back and go, it is exactly what it sounds like, Boutte.
Boutte, hey.
But
it does look like Boutte.
It does look like Boutte, but if you look at the accent aigu, you can see
what's
the
that called?
Accent aigu.
Oh, that's very
And that's
bougie.
above the E?
Okay, above the E, yeah.
See, and that's the thing.
And that's the E sounding like an A.
In these lower thirds for
Boutte.
you, there's no underscore and there's no accent, whatever.
No, there's not.
It doesn't allow it.
It sucks.
It's weird.
Well, it's Cajun, it's French
It's
Cajun,
a French
right?
situation, and I say when you're going to New Orleans, when you're on Interstate 10, you can either go to New Orleans or you can take a right and go to Boutte. Now they pronounce it Boutte. There's no accent aigu over the E.
Which one has teeth?
New Orleans or Boutte? Huh?
Which one has teeth?
Neither.
Neither. Well, New Orleans has dental care.
Neither has teeth.
Well, you can get a drive-through daiquiri at any of them, right?
Oh, that's one of the things I missed most about home.
In Louisiana, you can drive through and you can get a daiquiri at a drive-through window.
Oh, that's nice.
I love JW.
I just came
He has
from
a microphone like he's gonna sing.
I know.
I'm prepared.
That is so cool. It's karaoke night.
Break out.
It's karaoke night.
I look back and he's holding it like he's ready to go.
Yeah.
One-on-one karaoke.
Some say love.
Oh, yeah.
It is
That's
a
We're just
river
inspired
Jasper
to
is
sing
singing
tonight.
today.
that leads
That's what I do to him. He
the
gets excited.
soul
Yeah?
to believe. We don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, you.
You're singing the rose right now.
Yeah, so gay. Bette Midler. Oh, but that segues to a very sad. That did segue to something,
Okay, I was
which
saying,
is
we
not
gotta
a
get back
good
on track.
segue.
Yeah.
But I wanted to pay tribute to a dead person.
Oh, wait a
you are
minute.
No, because
killing me. Oh,
Doris Roberts, sweet Doris Roberts,
Oh,
passed
yeah.
away. A lot of people don't know
You didn't know?
No. I've
from
been
Everybody
under a
Loves
rock
Raymond. She
today.
died in her sleep Sunday night at 90 years old. But a lot of people don't know because I've known Doris for 25, 30 years.
I know.
She played Bette Midler's mother in The Rose, and it was a huge
didn't know.
part for her.
Oh,
and
wow.
talk about being cut out. This is a great story. She played. There's a scene. Do you remember the scene when Bette's on the payphone? They don't have payphones. She has this emotional breakdown scene in a payphone, and she's talking to her mother. And Doris had this great scene, and it's another example where and this is in late 70s, early 80s, when Doris went to see the movie, cut completely out.
Oh my God.
But shout out to Doris because she had an amazing career, and we have so many mutual friends, and like my client Clint Bowers, for the last 25, 30 years, Doris has been going to an acting class every Sunday.
Seriously.
Used to be Milton Gonzalez at the Beverly Hills Playhouse, and on Sunday is their I always call it the celebrity class, but it's mostly name actors and she's and unless she's working, she's never missed a day. And all during her run on Raymond, every job she's ever had, she's always gone to class on Sundays. And she used to say to me, Jasper, like she did Medea in class. She would use class as all the things you would never get cast in. Because like all of us, she gladly got pigeonholed and got typecast for her money.
Right.
But for her art, she would go to class.
To feed her art.
Yeah. And
That's excellent.
yeah, we had Carlos Leon on our other show back last year, and he's a telenovela actor, and he's in that class, and they were dear friends as well. But ironically, our mutual friend Bruce Drury, that's how I know Doris, he passed away 12 years or 14 years almost to the day, Sunday that she died.
Oh my God.
I know, it's kind of eerie.
Yeah, it is.
But
it
it's wow, because I mean the tributes.
90 years old?
She's like Norma. I mean,
Wow.
2 nights.
But she was fine. Like she was. Like,
yeah, apparently
self-sufficient.
she was at. Someone saw her Friday before at Offline Restaurant. The last time I saw her was 2010 when the MacGruber premiere
Right.
in New York, and Jennifer Bassey and Jennifer went to my premiere, and afterwards we went to Orso's, which is that story, Denise. So
I do.
we went to Orso's, which is like a big celebrity hangout. There's Joe Allen's and there's Orso's, and we go in, and Jennifer and her husband had always had the same table for years, and it was right in the middle of the restaurant. And then we sat down, and I look over, and there was Mark Cherry, Doris Roberts, Susie Kurtz, and someone else all sitting together at one table. So I got to go over and say hello, and that's the last time I've actually saw her.
Really?
Yeah. And she had a wonderful son. She has a wonderful son, Michael, and 3 grandkids. So our condolences go to her.
Yes,
but when we
indeed.
talked about the rose, it suddenly,
Yeah.
because I have her here to
Triggered
talk
that.
about anyway.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
Aw.
we should all be so lucky.
That's what I was about to say. I mean, you never want to talk about death, but gosh darn it, no suffering, no dietary concerns.
die in
no,
your sleep.
Honey, seriously, that's
And,
as
I mean,
peaceful as it can be.
And you know, I'll give you. She taught me so much because Doris had series and no series and Broadway or whatever, but she didn't really start on television until she was almost 50 years old. Lily Tomlin brought her from New York.
Oh wow.
Lily got one of those CBS variety shows in the 70s. They used to do, and she brought Doris out to L.A. and that's when she got here. And she had done mostly Broadway and some TV and film in New York, but she really started at like 50 years old.
Wow.
And just
That's
took
a
off.
testament,
But I
honey.
remember when she was on Remington Steele,
Mhm.
there was like a 10-year period between Remington and Raymond. And what I learned from Doris is you take one line, you take 4 lines, you keep working. I mean, she would go, I went to tapings of Who's the Boss and Full House and
Yeah.
Step by Step. I remember Bruce was her dearest friend and support. And I remember going to all these tapings and she would sometimes be a co-star, sometimes a guest star.
Yeah.
I remember going down to see her do like free play readings in Hermosa Beach, whatever it took to stay relevant. And my last story is she was directing a play at the Skylight Theater on Vermont. She had started directing, and I think they were people in her class. And she called Bruce one afternoon, and it was the run-through of the night before opening. And she said, they want me to go to Warner Brothers and read for this another sitcom. She goes, I am so sick of going in. She goes, it's some stand-up comedian. He's never acted.
Oh God.
Never acted before. I don't even want to go.
This
think
is
I know
Raymond?
which
And
one
Bruce
that
said,
was.
and Bruce said, Doris, go. And she goes, will you and Jasper come and sit through the run-through? Because Bruce was an acting coach. That's how I met him, and that's where I met Norma. And do you mind sitting through and taking notes or whatever? Well, that was Raymond.
Yeah.
And, they shot, I went to the first taping of the pilot, and then they reshot the pilot a second time. I was out of town. Bruce went. So they made 2 pilots of that show. Anyway,
yeah.
You never know.
And so she was
You
like
never know.
70, early 70s when she got Raymond.
When she got Raymond?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you believe the show's been off the air 11 years?
No, I
I actually went to a
can't.
couple of the tapings.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't usually go to tapings, but I went to that
I'll
one.
see at 70 if
Yeah.
I can remember my name.
I took my parents when they were here visiting once to go, and my parents had never been to a sitcom taping, and they were big fans of the show or whatever. But then by hour 2,
Yeah.
you know how boring. You
Oh,
know
they
how
are.
it is.
Oh.
By hour 2,
That's why I
finally,
don't go much.
finally my
And they have
dad.
the folks working the crowd, and it's like, oh, shut up.
Those poor
Yeah.
comedians. But my dad finally leaned over and he goes, "Can we go?"
What they would do, actually, for me when I went, they would have a talent competition in the audience, and they would
Yes.
have
All
different
the
people
time.
perform,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they bring you up to the mic and
Yeah.
humiliate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a
And
couple
you have
friends.
no idea you're being humiliated.
But that,
Yeah.
that's I had a couple of friends over the years that did that warm up job. They make good money.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you stay on the show all the time.
yeah.
But that's a hard one because, well, if you just have out of towners, it's great. But you know how we are, insiders or industry people at those tapings. We're not good
We
audience.
just want to be in the.
We're just bitter.
Set.
We're not on
We want to be on
stage,
the set.
That's
and we don't want to be bothered
And we
playing
know
the
there's
games.
a great craft services table somewhere back there, and we're like,
Exactly.
we don't have access
Yes.
to it.
But
Yeah.
anyway, God bless her and
Aw.
and her son Michael and grandkids. So anyway, there's so much. Let's do a little hot topics.
Hot
There's so much.
topics.
There's so much in the news. So I don't know if you're
I'm
avoiding.
sitting by one right
Let's
now.
do.
Oh.
Ooh, get up.
That's hot chocolate.
That's why I love coming up in
That's
here.
hot
baby.
caramel.
Ooh, don't play with me.
She gets me going.
It's
Don't
not
play
good
with
for
me,
your
Jenna.
diabetes. It's not good to get your sugar
And she's a
up.
cook. On top
Oh,
of it.
Okay, yeah.
Hello.
So let me. I'm all over the place,
I
but it's
throw-
my show. I don't give a
Yes.
fuck. I'll do
I
whatever I
throw-
want.
I'm not helping
Dizzle,
with that
baby.
either.
So everyone may not know, but they should know that Denise is a wonderful cook, and so Denise has.
I do a few things.
She's had her own show on YouTube called Denise's Dish, and she is leaving tomorrow night on the
And
Red
dish
Eye.
tips. Thank you,
Dish
Tony
tips.
Sweet and
Yeah.
Job got me for some dish tips. Yes,
But she's
indeed.
leaving tomorrow night to go on the Tom Joyner Celebrity Cruise.
Yeah,
Do they
yeah.
call it Celebrity Cruise?
Tom Joyner cruise. A
Tom Joyner
fantastic
Have you
cruise.
been on a
voyage.
cruise before?
I have been before once, but we were on there promoting Meet the Browns, and we did a screener. And so whenever it what do you say?
Docked.
When
Yeah.
it docked at one location, we got on, and then when it docked to the next location, we were
Oh,
off.
so you didn't
So I
stay
think we
overnight
stayed for
or
like
anything.
2 days.
Right.
Oh,
but
you did
this
stay
time,
overnight. Oh,
I
you
think
did.
2 days.
but you're on
Yeah.
the whole time.
I am on the entire time, and I do remember that I got a little motion sickness going on. So,
wow.
And you got to watch the alcohol too, because if you drink too much, not that you drink at all, but if you have too much and you're seasick, you're gonna be over
I
the
might
over
go
the side.
over, who knows? But
I've never
yeah.
been. I want to check that out.
I've never had.
Yeah,
I've never done a
yeah.
cruise because I swear it'll be the norovirus and I told you they'll hit a glacier,
oh god.
even if they're in Mexico.
Can you say Debbie Downer?
Wah,
Can you say
wah.
Debbie Downer? The fool's gone.
Wah,
If I was
First
sitting at the
he's on
controls
the
right now.
Titanic.
Yeah.
First he's on the Titanic, and then he's going to get the norovirus.
Yeah,
Okay.
have a good time on the ship.
Thanks, Jasper.
You know it's
Mhm.
dangerous. Wah, wah. Statistics show you could be
Oh,
killed.
Lord.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I really do.
Wow.
That's.
But tell everyone what you're going to be doing besides stripping on the
Ah!
cruise.
Well, mountain high, valley low in your career, so you have to do any
Keep her
and
off the
everything
pole.
to keep it cracking. And
Happy
my manager
birthday,
likes his
Jordan.
commissions, so
Yeah, I'll take it off of a dead person.
yeah. So I'm just letting you
Out
know.
of the
sometimes you
vagina.
have to support yourself.
Okay.
Don't
But,
try to hide money from me, bitch.
Yeah. So
Show
on
me
that,
the money.
On that note, I'm going to be appearing with Chef Rome Brown, who is actually an amazing chef from Raleigh, North Carolina. He has a cookbook out, and he is also mentoring me because I've been working on my cookbook for several years now. But now I'm putting pen to paper on it, not just talking about it.
Okay.
Yes.
There
so
you go.
family favorites I've been collecting over the years, and so the recipes are there, but making it an actual cookbook is a whole other story. So
And tell everyone about Rome. He's worked for the Obamas.
he's actually worked at the White House several times. He's working for one of the Carolina Panthers right now, one of the football players. I
you're in the
really
wrong,
have no idea
wrong
which
room
one.
here
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
And all
if he
They're
if he did show tunes
all I see
or
are
something.
blank stares away
Well-
from
Yeah.
me. I'm looking like Carolina Panther. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah,
Seahawks?
I love their cheerleaders.
Carolina Seahawks.
Do they twirl? I love that. They have good twirlers, right?
God help us. Okay, so and
I'm watching
he
LA
was
Dance Squad. Go
actually
ahead.
he was one of Shaquille's. Well, he was the premier chef for Shaquille O'Neal for several of
Ooh,
his
I bet
years
that
with
took
the
a lot of
Lakers.
food.
I was gonna
That's a lot
say.
of
Several
that
of the
is-
years with the Lakers. Well, he was on a meal plan, so
Oh.
he's very good.
A mule plan?
A meal plan.
I swear to
Did
God,
I
if
say
that just-
mule?
It sounded like mule. Yeah, I could bet he did.
Let me tell you, I revert back to Louisiana.
Throw a
2
big old
seconds,
slab
huh?
of meat up
He
on
had
the
a
table.
mule plan.
Oh, so he had a very
He
specific
had a very,
plan.
very specific diet. And so Rome's really good at, whatever it is you're trying to do, weight gain, weight loss, build this, build that. He'll design a meal plan.
Uh-huh.
A meal plan. That's funny.
It's hard to say.
Meal.
Do you
Is
think
it
Rome
meal?
was a fan of Shaquille's rap music?
I don't think
Wait, because
Shaquille was
wait a minute. Well,
I don't think Shaquille was a fan of Shaquille's rap.
He's been in
music.
some movies
but
too.
no,
as an
remember
actor.
last
Shazam?
week?
Was
Last
it?
week we had Paige Kennedy
Yeah.
on, and he was the one talking because
Yeah.
he's a Kobe Bryant
Yeah,
fanatic.
fanatic.
But he talked about how much, and Paige is a good rapper.
Yeah.
But he's the one that brought up. I had to try to keep a straight face. I thought he was kidding that he loved Shaquille's rap music, and he bought his albums. How many did he
Albums?
do? Yeah.
Oh, honey.
So I
now
said to him,
don't-
"Oh, you're the
that
one-
makes
you're
no
the one
sense.
that
the
bought-"
one person that
Yeah.
bought. Yeah.
So I digress.
I don't know. I don't know about Shaquille O'Neal's rap career, but he was there designing meal plans, not for him to be a rapstress, but for him to actually get on the court and do something. So yeah. So Rome did
Rome
that
is
for
very
several
accomplished,
years.
and
Very
and
accomplished.
Denise and Rome are part of several potential projects
Several
for.
potential projects. So we've partnered up, and
There's some good stuff happening.
yeah. So there's a lot of stuff, but again, until
We
the
can't
ink
say
dries on the
anything.
paperwork, I'm not gonna put it out there. But yeah, some really awesome stuff happening, and we're gonna be doing several cooking demos on the ship, one of which is going to be my special Louisiana girl gumbo, which is inspired by my mama.
Yes.
My grandmother. And so it's going to be her version of gumbo. And also we're going to be doing some kind of brown sugar smothered pork chops.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
That's going to be one of the dishes, and we're also going to be handling a little dessert. So between the cooking
Dessert?
demos, dessert.
Are you doing? Everyone must know about your
The pork chops aren't
your
dessert enough?
pralines.
Honey. Yes, and the pecan pralines. But I'm
Oh,
not
we had those.
going to be demoing that,
Yes.
but you've had
Yes,
those already.
yes.
Yes.
But that's 5
That's
very
too
basic
long.
ingredients, but it takes a lot. Like you will
She
get
puts her
a bicep workout because it
Mhm.
takes an entire hour to stir one
Yeah.
batch.
Yeah.
So you got to be real special.
Tell everyone who some of the people are that are going to be, some of the celebrities that are going to be on the cruise.
Oh God,
Diana Ross.
Diana Ross. Yeah, Diana Ross is going to be
Is
on
she
there.
singing?
Lots of
Is she
groups.
performing?
She's performing for the very first time ever on
That's
the Tom Joyner.
huge.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
And she'll be eating that night the food, or
you know what? If Diana Ross is near me and it is the night that we are serving, honey, I will pop over to her table.
Good.
Yes. Because I have to make sure that Miss Ross
Miss Ross
has had some of my cooking. So
Yes.
so I don't know. It's gonna be a fun night. It's jam packed with a ton of folks. I mean, there's a lot of groups performing. I mean, people again are gonna be on and off the boat the entire time.
Yeah,
So,
and Radio 1 is there.
Radio 1 is there, which is affiliated with TV1.
So
yes,
you're broadcasting from
indeed.
the ship?
We're going to be broadcasting. Well, they are going to be broadcasting from the ship, but there's also a lot of panel discussions.
Okay.
There's a lot of, in fact, I hear that we may be screening Second Sight
That's
on the ship.
right.
Oh, cool.
Because it's Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's
And
the,
TV1, Radio 1,
Yeah.
ta-da,
that's
match made in
right.
heaven.
Yeah.
So I will be on the boat and readily available
you
to
go.
host the hostess with the mostest if they do want me to do that. So it should be fun. And we'll be live tweeting, of course, once it premieres on Saturday night.
And another segue back to, just want to congratulate Tatiana Ali on her big news that she's engaged, and she's also with baby, with child.
Prego.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a beautiful Prego girl.
Yeah, she's so
glowing.
great. Tatiana's so
glowing.
sweet. So
She's very sweet. And, I mean, she's so young to be able to say, she's such a veteran. But it's true. I mean, when I was sitting in the backwoods of Louisiana, not even dreaming of becoming an actor, I loved, of course, who didn't love Fresh Prince?
Right.
So it's always surreal to me whenever I am on set.
I know.
And I'm right alongside someone whose career I not admired necessarily, but
Grew
I
up
loved their
watching.
show and grew
Yeah.
up watching.
Yeah.
When I wasn't even, that didn't even cross my mind.
How
to become an
how
actor.
about when you were working with Janet Jackson,
Oh,
your
God,
very
that
first
was
movie?
ridiculous.
Why
That
Not
was
Get Married?
stupid.
That
That was
was-
surreal. Like, that just made no sense.
Yeah.
It
Jill
really
Jill
didn't.
Scott was
Jill Scott.
was great, but then you threw in Janet Jackson,
That
and
was
it was
a
like
whole other situation.
this was her first
Yeah.
movie. Well, I mean, you
And
had
this,
done
I
some
mean,
stuff.
and I had been here for what, like 2 years? When that happened,
if
a year and a
that.
half,
Denise
2 years.
Denise rolled in and just started slamming
Well, you
it.
see why.
I mean,
You're so likable. You're so
Well, you had
likable
done a
and
few-
beautiful and talented.
Jay, you
No,
know
I'm
what?
serious.
That's why I come over
But
here
you
for
had-
It's true.
compliments.
you had done your several low budget horror films
I had done.
and stuff.
Oh, honey, I was the queen of
Oh wait,
horror.
didn't I see one of those?
Bloody
the
Bill?
vampire with the lisp?
No,
Vampire.
Is
and
that
then
the
I
one you
saw
saw?
the one that was sort of a makeover of the weird science.
Oh, that's the
Oh!
extreme movie.
What was it?
That was
Extreme
actually
movie.
with Kevin Hart, and until this day, I wonder if I have a conversation with Kevin Hart, if he'll remember this, because he was, a
You were top billing
regular,
on that.
I think I was billed higher
You
than
were.
Kevin Hart.
You were.
Do you remember what the breakdown said for that? I do.
It was.
The
you
breakdown.
Go ahead,
the
because you're gonna
breakdown-
think I'm making
no,
this
no.
up.
The breakdown said, this is what the casting said. If you took Beyonce, Tyra Banks, and somebody else, I don't remember,
It was three like
and,
ridiculously
and
hot
put them
women.
together, because the joke was they were building the most perfect. It's,
I
It's
know.
from.
You saw that?
I watched it
J-Dub?
just because your name was on it. I swear to
honey.
you.
It
And
was
I was just
it was a
like-
remake of that
know.
that movie
and
they
I was
did
like,
with.
where is
And
Denise?
he didn't realize I had two scenes.
It was Weird Science.
It
It was a
was.
remake of
It
Weird
It was one of my
Science.
Which
first
is that-
roles. It was one of my first jobs when I got here. Yeah.
And that
yeah.
movie, Weird Science, I know this is going to sound strange, but that movie changed my life. And I know that's going to sound strange, but what it did is it introduced me to the power of a modem and computers
Oh.
when I was a teenager. And
Ah.
it put me into a whole other world that changed my life. And so that movie has a lot of significant value to me. So when I heard you did something like was a remake kind of like that, I was like, wait a minute, where's Denise going to come out? And then I was like, oh, she's the great
Yes.
woman
the
they
chick
created.
that was
Yeah.
supposed
Oh,
to
they had a
step-
large girl.
step
Yeah.
out of the
That was the
well, I was
first one.
supposed to be the girl. They were going to put in all these women, and I was
Oh,
supposed to
wow.
come out of the computer.
Didn't
and
you
I think
come out in a bathing
I
suit
can't. Well,
or something?
yeah.
She looked great.
If that, yeah, I came out.
Do you know I
in-
never saw that?
I have a lot of blackmail.
You don't have that
material.
on your reel, do you?
I got a lot of blackmail material.
That's how Tyler found her.
Oh wow, no, I found Tyler.
I'm teasing.
No, in a bikini. No, I didn't audition in a bikini. But
Yeah.
no, I've got a lot of floating footage out there. I
We
have
all
The
do.
vampire with the lisp. That was one.
I
The
didn't
Way of the
see that.
Vampire.
Yeah, Way of the Vampire.
Asylum Films.
I had these prosthetic teeth, and I
Mm.
couldn't pronounce the. Oh, and the fellow vampire's name. Guess what it was? Sebastian.
Oh.
Sylvester.
So the entire movie, I cannot work these darn fangs. I'm like Sebastian, and I'm supposed to
true.
be seductive and powerful and with a lisp. Womp, womp, womp.
Well, speaking of black men, can we talk about Michael
said black
Strahan
male, not black
leaving
men.
Kelly Ripa?
Oh wow.
Have you heard this?
He's got enough jobs.
But
But she was blindsided.
she's
What do you mean?
oh no, she's livid. She didn't come in today. She's boycotting the show.
What?
yeah.
She didn't. TMZ broke the story, and I heard it on Wendy Williams, and then
Wait. She's boycotting the show because nobody prepared her
she,
for the
he,
This
change?
was a secret
he
deal
blindsided everybody.
This was a secret deal with Disney and Michael. This was not even Gelman didn't even know about it. Apparently, this is what TMZ.
So now,
Okay, but he can't break a contract.
well,
he's
he's already
under
under.
contract.
He's at ABC. He's been working on Good Morning America.
Yeah, I know.
He's
He's
been doing both.
He's got like 12 jobs.
But no, I think his contract is year to year. So his contract was
well,
up.
I mean,
But he didn't even tell Kelly. Or Kelly got him that job. Basically, she went to bat for him. I'm not. Well, everyone.
And you know the crazy thing, this happened with her and Regis.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Regis was leaving the show, it was a secret.
oh
Yeah.
my god.
So this
But-
is the second
So
time.
what is she like? Okay, I finally get comfortable with someone. We got this chemistry in this rapport.
Well,
and
she
you're gonna
hasn't
leave
said
me
anything.
Again?
But this is what TMZ reported coming here, and I think this is true.
Talk to me now, Jasper.
They say they're getting rid of the show. They
Oh.
because see now the View, everything's under the news. It's not under entertainment anymore. So they want to.
You're gonna get rid of.
Well, they want to expand
Oh.
Good Morning America another hour, like the Today Show has. See, the Today Show does 3 hours.
That's some stiff competition.
They're going to keep the View,
Yeah.
and they're going to expand Good
Is
Morning
there a
America.
problem with their ratings though?
Well, I don't
mean,
think so, but he jumped. He knew. He must have some
Sinking
insight.
ship.
Ooh,
Let me
that's
jump
probably why
on the
she's
one-
so upset.
Yeah,
Oh.
but
That's sad.
I don't think they're gonna. I think they should just stop the show at this point. If they, yeah, I mean, if they bring on another host, they could bring her
Well, it
husband
takes
on.
them a while because don't they like have folks that just kind of
They did that rotating thing
and
like
then
she
they find
did.
one that has
Yeah.
like
Today
the
they had
magic.
Anna
and they keep-
Gasteyer on today, filling in for Kelly.
That must have been really like
She's
last
funny.
minute.
She's funny.
Yeah.
I mean-
like her. She has a
Yeah.
very, very dry sense of humor.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think literally they didn't know. Kelly just didn't show up at work. I don't think they had time to.
Wow.
Anna must live next door. No, I mean,
No, I know what you mean.
She's
Yeah.
on there something.
So we got to fill
Like,
someone.
I got
yeah.
it. I got it. I'm coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
can
worst
do
case
it.
they could have run a rerun. But then I watched it
didn't
today.
see
I don't
it,
watch
though.
the show.
Yeah.
But I
Nah,
watched
I
it
don't
today,
either.
and then I didn't know all
I'm
this
usually
gossip.
like running kid to.
Oh, you didn't know
school
all
at
this
that
was
time.
going on when
Well,
you
I
watched
knew
it?
I knew
Oh.
he had he was
Okay.
leaving. But today I watched, and he actually he gave a statement. He goes, "I want to thank Kelly.
Oh, he
I
did
want to thank
her.
her." It was like
Okay.
he felt a need to really say something.
Well, yeah.
But you could tell by Anna's
Yeah.
demeanor, she was saying, "Well, you're so amazing. You know, I'm sure Kelly will support
You
you."
could tell
and
there was a little like let's
and
calm the
Gelman
tension.
wasn't there today either.
Ooh.
So Gelman and Kelly did a walkout together.
This is a live show, so
Oh
you
my gosh.
this is not a
Oh, wait.
pre-taped.
Was she there and then left?
No,
No,
I'm
she
saying
didn't
he
show
didn't
up.
show up either.
Oh, okay. When you said walkout, I was like,
Well,
I
I
thought
mean,
they were there, and then they
Metaphorically, a
Well,
walkout.
you got to wonder why has this happened twice? Like what? I mean, are they concerned about the fallout of her, and so they'd rather her
Well,
be done and then tell her
That
versus tell her ahead of time.
well,
and
the
then
truth
the
is,
fallout.
the ratings went up after Regis left.
Mhm.
Kelly's been able to
she's
maintain,
been
Yeah.
and then Michael and Kelly have been the high. They both are Emmy nominated. Well, actually, they won the Emmy last
they
year.
did. Okay.
But I mean, the ratings.
She looks sweet, but she's tough. I bet you she's pretty
Oh,
tough.
she's got to. I
Well,
mean,
her-
let me tell you something. Nobody that lasts in this business for that long
Yeah.
doesn't have an edge.
Yeah.
And let's
you're
keep
right.
it
You
real.
can be sweet, honey, on
You're
the
right.
exterior, but let
Yeah.
me tell you, this business will teach you.
But
how
you
to
know,
have an edge.
Jennifer Bassey did All My Children with her all those years, and she did say Kelly was amazing. That when Kelly because Kelly did the fill in to get her job,
Mhm.
and Shar predicted she was pregnant. remember?
Yes, I
But
know. Yeah,
Jennifer
Sharp
said
Vision, yeah.
on All My Children, all Kelly used to chain smoke and just go from dressing room to dressing room and talk all the time. So she was a talker.
So it was perfect.
Yeah,
it
when
was a
she
match
got on
made in
there,
heaven.
they all said she's perfect for this. But she makes, I think we're talking about money. She makes over $40 million a year for that job.
Excuse me?
So
For live?
for
Excuse me?
live.
Wow.
So she's
You're serious, right?
well. I mean, her last contract for I think maybe 5 years is $40 million. Michael's not
Wow.
making that kind of money, and so it could come down to an economical thing also.
I don't even remember when Michael joined.
4 years ago,
See, and I
I
just
can't believe it's been that long. I didn't know
and,
he was
and
on
how
there
did
that long.
he of all people?
he was
Michael
just one. He
Strahan,
was
he's
one of
been
the.
working his behind
He was well.
off.
He was a
The
sportscaster.
Mhm.
Uh-huh,
So he
okay.
But
migrated on
don't forget,
over.
at that time he was dating Eddie Murphy's ex.
He was
Nicole.
Nicole.
And he had supposedly beat her up, but somehow that all got. Yeah, Michael has done a complete
Image.
rebuilding of
Everybody
himself.
loves him. I
Yeah.
mean, what you just said. I'm like,
You remember that?
I vaguely remember that because.
But then she's shady, and nobody believed her anyway. But she made allegations that he had hit her and all that stuff.
Why are you saying that? Because she's on a reality show, Jasper.
Well, as Wendy Williams said,
It's because of Wendy.
Okay, Wendy Williams is killing
Wendy
it.
is.
I love
Wendy
it.
is Jasper's
Wendy
source.
This is what I mean.
Wendy and Jasper are the same
They
people.
are.
Jasper on the
So, I
radio.
swear to God, all you need is a teacup.
How
and
you
a tea
doing?
bag. When she does this whole tea bag
How
thing
you doing?
and sips tea,
Yep.
I mean, she's killing. That woman is
She
so
is-
amazing to me.
She really has grown. I remember watching her in the beginning when she first came on doing the TV show.
For her summer tryout.
Yes,
Her summer tryout.
exactly.
But she was always good, and she
Yeah.
always had. But now you can tell, honey, that is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
She has hit her stride,
She's-
and you know what it is? Like she's got Suzanne. You know, she plays
Notice
around
how she's
with.
using her a lot more.
She's using a lot of because people
And the
love
two
her.
gays.
People love them, and that's what it is. Now she knows, what
Yeah.
people from her team like enhance
Well, and getting the
brand.
3-year pickup is a confident.
Oh, honey,
she
that
and
in
she and
itself.
Ellen are the only two shows now where there's just a single host that can sustain a show.
That's true.
Everything
That's
is
true.
panel.
It's very
That's
rare.
right, panel.
Everything is
Meredith
a panel.
Vieira's been canceled.
Everything
so,
is a panel.
oh, we have to give a shout out though. Let's give some love to Lonnie Love for
Lonnie
for getting
The
her
real?
Emmy nominations.
Is that the real?
Yeah. Because
yeah.
if it weren't for Denise,
Oh,
nobody
now,
would know
Jasper,
about it. So
Jasper.
Denise
I was
auditioned
on
for the real.
I didn't want to go there, but okay. If
She
you want to
did?
go there, go ahead.
She auditioned for the real, and Lonnie would be the first to tell you that Denise told her about the audition, and she brought her funny ass there and got the job.
Well, I'm not going to toot my own horn. All I'm going to say is that the right woman got the job.
That's right.
That's very
Because let me
sweet
tell
of
you something, you don't block anybody's
You're
blessing.
right.
Whenever
Don't
you're
block the
Whenever
blessings.
you
Yeah.
read on something, you're just like, I know but you got to be in my crew. Now, if you ain't in my crew,
Yeah.
I ain't
Someone
gonna-
you I get
No,
you.
but if you're in my crew and I'm like, you know what?
You pay it forward,
this
it's come back to
really
you.
looks like something
Yeah.
more geared toward my girl, blah, blah, blah.
There
I will
you
get
go.
on the phone.
And-
Done it before.
And it
we'll
didn't
do
matter
again.
that they had the same agent. Lonnie didn't know about it, so thank God Denise stepped in and helped out.
I got to know a little
Wow.
bit more about Lonnie because she sat down with.
Sips tea,
Sips,
Jasper,
Yes.
sips
See, I'm trying to bring it up.
Okay, Wendy Jasper.
She just had a reading with Tyler Henry.
Oh, I didn't get to
Lonnie.
see it. Do you know?
Did
Do
you-
you know
Lonnie
that?
Love,
Do you know
yeah.
Tyler Henry, the
Yes.
medium on
It's
E?
the first time you really see her get emotional.
The little
too.
blonde guy?
Oh, no. Let me tell you, Lonnie gets emotional.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's so strong, and because
Yeah.
of the kind of comedy, and when you're a female
Yeah,
comedian, I think, but no, she's a sensitive.
She's very
a sensitive-
smart also.
And when they're on those panels and stuff, you can see how much they've bonded, and I think that's why the show is working. They sincerely love each other. Like you can even see between she and Tamar, there's like a sisterhood there.
That's great.
So that's when that kind of stuff.
And that takes
you
a lot
know.
because Tamar's a lot. You know.
She is, but I think again, because I lived.
I mean,
off
a
and
lot
on
in a good
Atlanta.
way, you know.
Yeah, I worked off and on in Atlanta for a long time, and I think it took her forever. I mean, if you saw the Braxtons, the Tony Braxton story, Unbreak My Heart. Yeah.
Tamar's
saw
become the
that-
star now, not Tony.
And all I'm gonna say is, for a long time, Tamar was the chick in the back,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, she is definitely.
Tawanda
having
was
her
the chick in the
moment.
back too for a long time. She was on that show Starting Over. That's how I got to know
Oh,
all
really?
about the Braxton
Is that
family.
what it was?
through
Yeah.
Starting
Well, then a
Over.
lot of people don't know Tamar's married to the big record
Vince.
manager,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
Gaga's
Vince is-
manager and
Vince is
other
huge.
people.
Yeah, so it wasn't a matter of I need some moolah. No, she just
And you know,
wanted to come.
There's so many haters because her
of her
husband
shell.
is overweight, or was morbidly obese, was a big guy.
And one of the sweetest guys
And people
you'll ever
were
meet.
so shallow saying, well, I would say he was obese, right?
mm.
I mean, he did.
Too
no.
much of
I'm
Denise
no
cooking.
doctor, so I'm not going to go ahead
Too
and
much of
diagnose.
Denise's
But they
cooking.
thought, well, why? You know, they thought, well, why would she be? She couldn't love this fat guy.
You know what? And that's the sucky
And you
part
know-
about it, because I've met both of them at, and again, I'm not going to profess that these are my friends, okay, and I'm on speed dial,
Yeah.
but off and on in
Yeah,
Atlanta for
sure.
5.5 years, they are literally some of the sweetest people you will ever know.
Yeah,
Like
and I
Tamar
mean-
has a really big personality,
She
but she
does.
really is a good. From what I know, a really kind-hearted.
She reminds me of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah,
Only a cis. No, I'm
Damn.
serious.
And Denise, you thought damn.
I don't mean that as
Oh,
a. I don't,
wow.
have the
She
tea
thought
bag.
I was bad.
Wait.
We've got teabag here and
Oh,
shade.
my
I'm not
God.
really. That was not so much
Teabag
shade.
and
John's
shade.
turning red. Look at him.
It
He's
wasn't
turning
so
red
much
'cause
shade.
he
Let
knows.
me clarify
Own
that
it,
comment.
J-Dub. Own it.
I'm gonna own it because I'm saying she says a lot of the things the queen say on RuPaul's Drag Race. So she reminds me of RuPaul's Drag Race. Not that she looks anything like a drag queen. She has the attitude like one.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. I don't dish and shade anybody, especially on the air.
Well, let's be real.
really
mean,
don't.
if Melissa
Look at-
McCarthy.
I love Melissa.
you
What are you
think-
gonna say about her?
Well, no, I'm just saying when she's got $40 million in the bank,
Yeah.
I'd get up on that too and pretend I loved it.
Oh,
So
my.
Tamar, go on and get with your fat husband.
And I just realized.
But my question is, if the fat husband worked at
You would get up on Melissa?
well, no, I'm saying, but if Tamar,
what
if her
lifetime?
husband worked at True Value and made minimum wage, would Tamar be up on that?
If he had a big hoe.
Would she be up
I
on
don't
it?
know.
That's the question. I wish people would call in. Would Tamar Braxton
I gotta get to the
be
call board. If you're doing
fucking that fat husband of hers if he worked at Carl's
I feel like I
Jr.?
need to go to confession right now.
I know. I'm like, do you know what you're in
I
for?
just came back from Louisiana. I just came back from Louisiana, and my mom asked me in church, "When's the last time you went to confession, baby?"
Oh,
I said,
wow.
"Mom, it's after Easter. I'm good."
Right.
What'd you give up for Lent?
Lent. Oh, speaking of, today's the first day of Passover, so happy
Is it?
Passover to
Oh.
all our Jewish
I
friends.
can't.
You didn't notice there's no traffic? Oh my God, not
I-
kidding.
Really?
Coming here today,
There wasn't for me on the way over.
what I love
No,
is you get to
I had to take the 101.
Sunset
way
Boulevard.
north.
I live 6 miles
Mm.
down Sunset Boulevard. Sometimes it can take me 45 minutes to get here.
Mm.
I was here in like 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ah.
everyone's at Shoal, I guess, or in the temple.
Well, it was
Got
bumper
it.
to bumper on the 101, but
Oh,
that's
really?
It was bumper
Yeah.
to bumper on the 101.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
But
didn't notice.
that's just
Sorry.
yeah, that's the freeway.
Is this
Oh.
when you say shalom?
Yeah.
Shalom Mazel.
I can't
Mazel?
keep I can't keep up
I
with all
don't
the
know.
holidays.
Yeah,
the
well,
Jewish ones.
I'm
Um,
really a wannabe Jewish person, so
Okay.
Are you?
I wish I were Jewish. A lot of people thought I was
I
Jewish.
would, yeah.
Yeah, I love my
Yeah.
Jewish
Because they
people.
control Hollywood?
Oh, well, no. Well, that
Mm.
they
Is
are
that-
very
yeah.
active in Hollywood,
Oh, okay.
but generally they're liberal and they're very democratic, and I just think they're wonderful
They're
folks.
cool. Okay, well, just go ahead and do that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not going to convert
Why?
because, well, I'm Southern Baptist. I'm
He's
basically
spiritual.
I'm spiritual.
He's
I'm
not religious.
I'm come one, come as you all want to
Yeah.
come. Just wipe up after. So speaking of, let's just quickly.
I'm not at the sense
God,
of
that just really
I-
every
I
crickets
just-
in the room today. So today, Wendy
I'm
Williams.
sitting at the
my
panel right now.
God.
Now I'm gonna segue.
Oh my God.
Wendy Williams today went after Garcelle Bouvet or whatever her name is.
Oh, why?
Well, okay, so
Mr. Garcelle.
AJ Gibson, shout out to AJ Gibson,
AJ Gibson.
he used to host
Tell me.
Hollywood Today Live.
Okay.
Ross
Oh,
Matthews just bumped him
right.
off.
I know. Oh,
That was
Ross
with
is on
Maria,
there, okay.
right? Maria?
Well, AJ Gibson started at AfterBuzz,
oh.
at AfterBuzz TV, and Ralph and I
Maria
both
runs
have been there. Yeah,
AfterBuzz,
but then he got the show Hollywood Today Live. They film it right across
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
Pantages.
at the Bite Size Network.
That's what it was,
Bite Size
yeah.
Network,
and
yeah.
so it
Mhm.
was AJ and these a girl and this other guy. I don't know their names.
Mhm.
They're still there,
Mhm.
but they let AJ go and they brought in Ross Matthews,
Okay.
and then AJ's been going over to Good Day LA, but he now does. You know how they'll bring gossip columnists on Wendy's and do the hot.
Yes.
He's been on 3 times. He did Monday as well.
Oh,
but
okay.
Garcelle Bouvet was hired when Ross came on.
Yes.
And so Wendy's whole thing was she thinks it's very strange that you have an actress and a celebrity who sits there and talks and dishes on other actresses and celebrities. Like Wendy thought it was a step down for her to do the job because she's the one whose husband was the agent who cheated, remember? And she put him on
I
blast.
vaguely remember that too.
So Wendy was
I
just
vaguely
saying
remember
that,
that.
you know, it's
'Cause it
very
was a long
awkward.
time ago.
How can she sit there and talk about other actors and celebrities?
Mhm.
But in a very D-list minor way. I feel that way. I'm an actor who works and I can keep it real about other
I
celebrities.
sometimes wonder about that. I'm like, doesn't he realize he's going to be working with some of these people? But you
Well-
keep it real.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
here's the thing. I mean, as an actor,
Yeah.
your career manifests into different things, and maybe
Right.
this is where Garcelle is. I mean, maybe she's
It's just
not
weird
gonna
because she'd
be
never
acting
she'd
anymore.
never
You know,
done
maybe this-
hosting before.
I mean, not that I'm aware of, no. But
Yeah.
maybe this is where her career, just like what's her name? Babyface's ex-wife. She was
Tracy Edmonds.
Tracy Edmonds. She
Yeah.
was a huge.
She wasn't in front of the
producer.
camera at all.
She wasn't in front of the camera,
She
but she
should
was
have
a
been.
huge producer and very much so involved in entertainment from the behind the camera. And now she's on what is it? ET
She does extra
Extra
with
One of
Mario
them.
Lopez.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when,
So
when,
you
when I say
reinvent
she went
yourself
after her,
over
Right,
the years.
right.
she didn't
you
go.
know?
She wasn't mean about it. She didn't go in on her
She just
today.
didn't
She just was saying
understand.
how weird it
Oh,
was.
okay.
I think because AJ is now one of her people, and AJ got bumped off the show.
Oh,
That's
okay.
probably why.
Okay. Well, she's loyal.
Have you met
She's
Wendy,
loyal.
Jasper?
I've never met
You
Wendy,
need to.
but
I
I
can't
remember.
wait.
See,
I
I
can't
remember.
I'm serious.
I remember Wendy on the radio back in New York
Yeah, I
when
remember.
she was.
Mhm.
I mean, she went down
Oh,
on the
yeah.
radio.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
She
and
was-
she acknowledges it too. She said just the other day that there's things you could get away with on the radio that
can't
you
get
can't
And
get
she
away
used
with
to
on
get
television.
fired all the time. She's been fired for some. Her last radio job, P Diddy got her fired, and she was blackballed. That's why it was a big deal for her to get TV. This wasn't her first TV show. She was part of a panel show on VH1 that didn't last, and MTV show that didn't last. But P Diddy shut her career down, and that's why they made up, and they made up on her show a couple of
Oh.
seasons ago. They came full circle.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
But this
I don't
town,
remember
this
that.
business is so phony because
It's a cycle though, and that's what it is. I mean, the person that's doing your craft services one day is A-list, the next. Like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't know,
That's
and that's
true.
what again, the Garcelle thing. Your career changes, and you manifest into different things, and you move on. Away. So
Especially if you're
I-
multi-hyphened like you are,
Well-
talented. With
well,
all your,
yes.
You
Well,
know.
Garcelle is a
Yeah.
single mother now, and I mean, even though I'm sure she gets alimony or child support, she's got to work. You know.
And it's a wonderful way of staying relevant. You're on people's television
learn-
every single day.
Yeah.
You know?
And you learn a lot being behind the scenes, and then
You
and eventually you get the confidence maybe to step forward.
Yeah.
A lot of times you just live vicariously through the people who are,
Right?
And
on
it's hard
camera.
to with
Yeah.
Ross Matthews to get a word in edgewise, because
Ross
a little Ross goes a long way. I like
Yeah.
Ross,
Yeah,
but
me too.
he's a lot,
He's a big personality.
He's a big
He knows
personality.
it.
He's funny.
He's a
fun.
judge on RuPaul
No, wait,
too.
didn't he start on not Letterman, Leno?
Leno, he was the intern.
He was the intern. Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
And,
and- but
again, there's no rhyme or reason.
But
You
Ross
never
has
know.
had so many shows at E. I mean, Chelsea Handler was his girl, and so he was under contract at E.
Oh,
he just had a show Hello Ross that
He
didn't make it.
He did.
He's had many different
Yeah.
incarnations of
That's
shows.
true.
So for him, and he needs to work. He lives in Palm Springs as well.
Oh,
so
he does.
yeah.
You
Okay,
run into
so-
him, Jazzy.
I do run into him. He's always eating. I mean, he's always on a diet. He's a big let's go out for cocktails and eat and drink. And I have an eating disorder apparently. So according to people, haters,
We need to give a shout
my
out to Ralph
word.
Cole in the chat room.
Ralph Cole Jr.
Yes.
Kizzle.
Ralph next week. Ralph and Dara will be here for our Hot Topic show. 2 weeks from today, I'll be having my back surgery. Everyone.
Oh, already?
Yeah, so I
Oh,
think
my
there's only going to be maybe that Wednesday, the 4th, will be a rerun. I'm intending to be up and broadcasting every Wednesday after that, even though I'm supposed to take 4 weeks down.
You got this, Superman.
So I'm gonna have
Come on,
I'm gonna have a
Superman.
new L5 disc.
Nice.
Get a little Juvederm in the face and a penile enlargement.
Oh wow!
That's exciting.
And on that note,
That's
we have to
exciting.
wrap.
We have to wrap. Okay, everyone. Second Sight this coming
Yes.
Saturday.
Second Sight this Saturday,
8
April
p.m.
23rd,
They
8
will
p.m.
rerun it as well. They
Eastern.
will rerun
Yes,
it.
TV One's really good at that. So they'll be rerunning it. So check it in, tweet us, do all that fun stuff, and say how much you love.
And Denise will
Second
be on the
Sight.
Tom Joyner cruise.
Yes, I will. Work
Oh,
it out.
she's
cooking
got
it
a
up.
movie called Secrets coming out soon.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
The
that's
Bounce
gonna be
Back
fun.
with Shamar Moore
Bounce
that's
Back,
coming
the
out.
Choir director. And yeah, we got some great stuff coming
She's
out
a
in 2016, baby.
busy little woman over
and some
here.
other stuff that's on the fire, baby.
Yes. JW, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shout out to
J-Dub.
Dominic Friesen, everyone.
Dominic.
WROM in Detroit. We love you. So happy to be there. We'll see you next week. Same
Next
time,
weekend.
same place. Holla.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out.
One-on-one with Jasper Cole. Check out past episodes and get the latest as they're released. Subscribe today on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.